The Poudre is a fairly short river that flows 125 miles in total and begins in Rocky Mountain National Park. The name Poudre comes from a group of French fur trappers who were traveling along the river going north in 1836. After a large snowstorm, these trappers decided to lighten their loads before continuing their trip. When they did, they hid many supplies in the canyon, a large amount of these supplies being gunpowder, thus leading to the name Poudre that translates to hiding place of the powder. Large amounts of settlement in the region began in 1870s through the 1880s due to mining because of the discovery of gold and the building of railroads. On October 30th, 1986, 76 miles of the Poudre River was designated the first wild and scenic river in Colorado because of its outstanding recreation, free-flowing character, water quality, scenic value, and hydraulic features. Of the 76 miles of wild and scenic river, 30 miles are considered wild and 46 miles are considered scenic or recreational under the National Wild and Scenic River System. The establishment of the Poudre National Heritage Protected Area came in 1996 due to Congress, who recognized the significant role with Western water law, which was widely accepted throughout the community. There are many different stakeholders involved in the Poudre Heritage Area. Here are a few of the larger ones: Northern Colorado Water Conservancy District, Poudre River Trust, Friends of the Poudre, Colorado Water Congress, Fort Collins Historic Preservation, Colorado State University, Colorado Department of Natural Resources, Parks and Wildlife, Central Colorado Water Conservancy District.
Poudre faces many debilitating threats today. Some of these threats include the channelization and confinement of the river, lower flows, decreased groundwater recharge, and the lack of in-channel scouring are dramatically affecting the health of the riparian ecosystem. Water quality issues include selenium contamination, the presence of antibiotic-resistant genes, hormones, and other emerging contaminants released with wastewater discharges. One huge future threat that the Poudre faces is the Northern Integrated Supply Project. The project could cost up to $1 billion, which includes interest and loans. Some subscribing communities, like the town of Erie, expect to take on a debt approaching $20,000 per family to finance the project. During peak June rise flows, the huge pumps would suck over 1,000 cubic feet per second from the river. This would be up to 71% of the river's flow through Fort Collins, depending on the year and timing of the flow, directly harming water quality, river-related recreation, and regional economic vitality. The threats that we will be focusing on today are the wildfire threats and overuse to the Poudre. We conducted an interview with Ranger Gabe, as he will give us some direct insight on the problems at hand in managing these threats. Some indirect causes of the threats that Ranger Gabe talked to us about today are the lack of knowledge and education of properly using the Poudre with creating limited impacts, and an increasing pressure on the Poudre's resources for recreational purposes.
So, what is your name?
My name's Gabe Johnson. I'm a ranger with the City of Fort Collins Natural Areas. Yeah.
So what are some of the direct threats that y'all are dealing with here in y'all's ranges?
Well, here, so Gateway's kind of my my spot, so I'm a lot more familiar with just this location.
Okay.
Threats, at this point, I would say overuse. The numbers keep climbing every year, and it's getting hard for us to figure out ways to accommodate everybody.
Okay.
There were a number of times this summer where we had to actually gate off Gateway. We just couldn't fit any more vehicles. So, you know, a lot of the places are just kind of being loved to death. So it's hard to come up with solutions where we can still allow people into these areas without it taking away from the experience for the public. That's a big one. You know, with climate-wise, you know, it seems like there's an increasing level of wildfires every year, and I don't know how long you've all lived around here, but we've had some real big ones in recent years. The High Park Fire, Hewlett Gulch, which really came close to Gateway here. So that's another issue.
What was some things y'all had to do to either counteract what y'all were experiencing from the fires, or just prepare for what could happen if the fire actually got to Gateway?
Well, we do. This place is set up pretty well. We have a irrigation system in place that we can always turn on if the fire's getting close. We have an actual fire line along the whole western perimeter that we can get going if the fire's getting close, and it just soaks the whole western side.
Some management principles are to maintain and enhance the capacity of the Poudre Heritage Area to accomplish its mission as the administrating entity of the heritage area. Another is to tell the story of the Poudre River National Heritage Area through interpretive amenities, educational programs, and research projects that broaden public awareness of the heritage area, thereby enhancing its sense of place and strengthening its values to the community.